How to be a confident podcaster? That is a question I received recently, so I've decided to make a podcast episode on it. So let's get into it. Hello, I'm Olivia D'Souza. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I'm a content and podcast expert. I support visionary entrepreneurs and leaders passionate about living with purpose. Join me as we explore podcasting, life, business, and authenticity. Subscribe for meaningful conversations with a business buddy who gets what it's like. Welcome to Magnetic Pod. I'm stepping in the next little me. I'm here to be everything. First of all, to be confident in podcasting, okay, I'm just going to riff and talk about a number of things, but number one that comes to mind is mindset. So if that's an issue, which it obviously is, if you're not feeling confident, then I would recommend going back to a previous episode I've done fairly recently around mindset, because there may be a number of things that you can look at there that will help not only with confidence in podcasting, but just confidence in general. What is keeping you stuck? You might need an outsider to help with a different perspective. You might need to do some work on reprogramming your mind for success. And so you can go back to a previous episode, and I'll put a link in the show notes to that episode I did recently, and some things that you can do to help you think more in a more confident and positive, success-minded way. So there's that, first of all. Another thing I'd look at is, if you're not confident, then why? What's going on? Let's dig into that. Get a piece of paper, or if you're a verbal person, maybe you can get out your voice notes app or something and just get it out of your head and get it somewhere. So get it out of your head. Let's look at it. Let's write it down. Say, what are you afraid of? What's going to happen? I'm going to do it wrong. I'm not going to make the right kind of content for my target audience. Am I going to, is it that my auntie will watch it or my people from high school or whatever? Like, what is going on in your head? What is the actual fear? Write it down, look at it, and then ask yourself, is it true? Is it true that Auntie Flo will think you're an idiot? And if so, perhaps you need to talk to her. Perhaps you need to talk to yourself. Perhaps you have to realize that it doesn't matter. And if there's a real fear on something, is it valid? Most of the time when you put something down on paper that you're fearful of, you'll realize that it's just stuff that's holding you back that isn't even real. It's just a made-up story in your mind. You don't know what anyone else is thinking about you. And what they're thinking is their business. It's not your business. So work on what you think about you. It really doesn't matter what anyone else is thinking about you. Okay, so and think about what would happen if you didn't create the content. You'd be in the same place you are now. Is that what you want? Are you wanting to build a platform and be seen by the people you're here to help? Is that going to happen if you don't start that podcast and don't make some sort of content in the world that people can find you? Maybe that's a bigger thing that you should be, if you're going to be afraid of something. Be afraid of doing nothing. But the other thing I would say is, really the way to overcome fear and to find your feet and to find your direction and to know what content to make is to start. You don't know what's going to work. You can try your best. You can throw ideas on the wall, but action, I think, is the biggest thing that helps you overcome fears of doing things. We can stay stuck in analyzing and thinking about the right way to do it. Just do it. Do it with the wrong microphone, with bad lighting. Just start. And then you'll go, oh, I encountered this problem. Oh, I've got these shadows under my eyes and the light is shining on my nose. Maybe I need to get a ring light now. But don't let that be a reason that you don't start. Let that be a reason that you learn and grow along the way. Oh, look, I've got a microphone that's picking up all the noise around me. Let's talk to somebody. I personally use a Rode NT USB microphone that that I like to use. There are some that pick up, side note, there are some that pick up more noise from the outside surroundings. So, but my point with this is you make a start and don't be fearful of it being a process. Don't expect to do a podcast and be Joe Rogan in the first episode. Like Joe Rogan wasn't Joe Rogan in the first episode, probably. You start somewhere and you enjoy it. Enjoy it. Remind yourself that life is an adventure. Remind yourself of why you're doing it. Remind yourself of the people that you are doing a disservice to by staying stuck in your head. Remind yourself that you're being selfish by being stuck in your, oh, I'm not confident bullshit. All right? Like if you're here to help someone, then help them. Get out of your own way. Get out of thinking it's about you. It's not about you. If you are here to help someone, then you have a duty to let them find you. And the people who you're not here to help, you're not here for them. So who gives a shit what they think? They're probably not going to listen to you past the first couple of words. You're not for them. Get over yourself. So, yeah, I think you need to remind yourself of your mission. And I'm also thinking, so part of the fear could be about being rejected, about making a fool of yourself. So there's a line in one of my songs, what is it, around, I can't think of it, but it was along the lines of, if you reject me, that's a shame for you, but, that I keep going. Basically, be okay with being rejected. You're not for anyone. If anyone rejects you, you're not for them. If anyone is not impressed for you, you're not for them. You are actually supposed to repel certain people with your content. You are supposed to do that. So, and that's nothing to be scared of because they will be repelled. So they're not going to stay watching you and going, nah, boo. Like, for the most part, they're not going to do anything. And especially a reassuring thing for you is if this is a confidence thing around podcasts specifically, you do have an advantage that they can't comment. It's the one platform where you get to speak into the void and they can't get into your comments unless you post it on YouTube. So, go nuts. If anyone doesn't like you, they're just going to not listen. But confidence comes from action. Confidence comes from doing. I was going to say it doesn't come from being stuck in your head. However, having said that, you can do some things with your head. You can feed your head when you're not doing the podcast. You can feed your mind with positive self-talk. As I said, you can go to that other podcast I mentioned earlier, that other podcast episode. And the other thing you can do to fill your mind with positive ideas is I have a meditation. I have a visualization that I created, and it ends with a piece of music that is designed to inspire you and get you believing in yourself and your message and your purpose. So I'll put a link in the show notes for that, but that is something that you can get in your ears and visualize and reprogram your brain around your mission and imagining it going from person to person, being shared. So in the same way that the idea of that is like, I saw a video once, so it was probably viral, so you may have seen it too, but there was this video of a father with a son, and he was doing some sort of gymnastics thing. I think he had to run up to the very top of this very steep thing at the gym, and he could never quite get to the top, and he tried several times to do it and he couldn't do it. And then the father said, gave him a bit of a pep talk, close your eyes, imagine, visualize running all the way to the top. You're doing it, you're there, you've run, you've climbed up to the front, you're running, you're not holding back, you're going full force, you're determined, you're making it to the top, you're reaching the top, you're up the top, you did it, you've done it, that's it. And then open your eyes and do it. And with that programmed into his head just before, he went and did the thing. So anything that will help you with that, and that's what my visualization is for, use that thing to just shift your mind out of the bullshit stories, and they are just stories and they are bullshit, that are holding you back and stopping you from helping people. Get out of your own way. Sometimes we can feel like, oh, I'm a good person with a confidence issue, but it's because, it seems to be good, nice people, not egotistical people. It seems to be nice people that have these confidence issues, and I just need this and I just need that. But you're not helping anybody. You're not helping like I say this with love. I'm human. I get like that too. I'm not saying it as a judgment, but I'm just as a reminder to myself and you, cut the bullshit. You're not helping anyone by being woe is me, my confidence. You're like, you can do this. You can do this. You have everything you need. You were born and given all the tools. You were made perfect. There is nothing that has been put on this earth that was designed wrong. You're designed perfect. You were giving the tools and the brain and the everything that you're meant to have to do your mission in life. So don't hold yourself back with your pretend stories that aren't true. Just go. Just give it a go. What else did I want to say? Discipline. I had a thought on discipline. I might actually do a separate podcast episode on it, but I will stick it in here as well. I had a thought about discipline, and we think about discipline as being willpower. We think about with discipline as being, I should just bloody do it, which maybe we should on some level, but I think the problem with that is maybe that doesn't always work, but the reminder of discipline and why some people can be disciplined is because it comes back to belief. Because I think we tend to be disciplined with the things that we think will work and will pay off if we stick at it. We don't stick at it because we think we're getting nowhere. Which reminds me of what Gary Vee often says. He talks about patience. He talks about have patience. It takes years to build a business. It takes years to build a platform. He didn't get where he is overnight. It takes patience. But underneath that patience, you don't have patience if you don't have belief. You don't have patience if you think that you're on the wrong track. So I think that comes back to the mindset of believing in yourself, believing your why, believing that it will work. And that's where the discipline comes in. So be disciplined, but look at what's underneath the discipline. Also, a reminder too is that you can stuff up, you can make mistakes, and you can get it edited out. So you can either do it yourself or you can leave it to me. I have people who send me podcasts and say, oh, Olivia will cut that out. Oh, Olivia's my editor. Oh, I'm going to say that again. And so you don't have to be perfect. And there's editing. You can even use editing to cut out the ums and the ahs and all that kind of thing. So I tend to I'm not going to say what I do. I'm perfect. I don't edit anything out. I'm just perfect. Actually, I do leave in some flaws because I like it to be a bit real for myself. But anyway, so that's what I can think of at the moment. I may think of other things and do another podcast episode, but that's it for now. I'd love to know what you do. And if that helped you, leave a message and let me know your thoughts. Also, please, please, please leave a review. Give it a 5-star, give it a follow. It helps it get found by other people. And what also helps it get found is if you share it. So if you like this episode, if you found anything helpful, share it in your stories on Instagram or whatever's the easiest way for you to share it, LinkedIn, whatever your platform of choice is. And thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll see you in the next one. I'm stepping in the next level me. I'm here to be everything I can be. Like a snake, I'm shedding my skin to be my wild next level me. I'm stepping in the next level me. I'm here to be everything I can be. Give you whiplash when you turn around and see me go again. Next level me, it's time to be. Hello It's Livy here. Have you ever wondered about what the key elements are that make a podcast truly stand out? Or maybe you're thinking about starting your own special podcast and feel a bit overwhelmed and don't know where to start. Well, I have something for you. Introducing the ultimate podcast checklist. Da, 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 da. It's a step-by-step guide that covers everything from the initial brainstorming to advanced growth strategies. It's the perfect companion for both new and seasoned podcasters. And the best part, it's absolutely free. Da, 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 da. To grab your copy, simply head to the show notes of this episode and you will find a direct link there, and then away you go. Remember, every podcast started with that initial spark and the right resource, so let the ultimate podcasting checklist be yours.